23 years on the night desk, 2 hotels, 1 career, and I'm done now. Been done about 11 months. People ask me why I left. The GM, the regionals, my wife, and I give them the retirement answer. 62, knees are shot, circadian rhythm's been backwards since Clinton was president. All true. None of it's the reason. The reason is a folio, a guest folio in the property management system at a Courtyard by Marriott in Omaha, Nebraska. 196 rooms, 8 floors, off I-80, near the convention center. Not fancy, not a resort. The kind of place you book when your flight out of Epley gets canceled and the airline gives you a voucher. The lobby smelled like burnt coffee from the bistro station and chlorine from the indoor pool. The dehumidifier broke in November and nobody fixed it, so the whole first floor had that warm, wet, chemical smell that got into your clothes. I didn't mind. After 23 years, hotel smells are just background noise. I started as a bellhop at a Holiday Inn in Council Bluffs, just across the river. 18 years old. Hauling luggage for guys in seed caps who were in town for cattle auctions. Worked my way up, front desk, then night audit, then the Courtyard recruited me when they opened in 2005. I crossed the Missouri River and never went back. By 2009, I was running the night desk solo. The GM, a guy named Phil Kramer, old Marriott lifer, he trusted my numbers. "Your audit's tighter than the accounting firm," he told me once. That wasn't a compliment. That was him saying he didn't want to pay for a second overnight clerk. Solo nights. You get used to it. The lobby after midnight is its own kind of quiet. Not silence, because hotels are never silent. The ice machine on 6 does its dump cycle every 40 minutes. The elevator hums even when it's parked. The parking garage security cameras cycle through 8 feeds on the monitor behind the desk, and you learn the rhythm. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3, the stairwell, the exit ramp, like a screensaver you've watched 10,000 times. The HVAC clicks on at 1 a.m. when the system drops to night mode. The bistro refrigerator has a compressor that rattles every 20 minutes. You learn all of it. You stop hearing it. And when something changes, you notice. November 2024. Late November, the week after Thanksgiving. Occupancy was at 22%, 43 rooms out of 196. The convention center had nothing booked until a farm equipment expo in December. The parking garage was half empty. 3 of the sodium lights on level 2 had been out since September. The breakfast bistro espresso machine was on a timer that killed it at 10:30 p.m., so after that, it was just the drip pot, and I'd made my peace with that years ago. I started the night audit at 2:47 a.m., same time every night. You run the bucket check first. That's where you compare the physical room status from housekeeping against what the PMS says. Every room in the hotel has a status. Vacant clean, vacant dirty, occupied, out of order. Housekeeping sets the physical status during their rounds. The PMS tracks the reservation status. They should match. When they don't, you've got a discrepancy, and discrepancies are how you catch problems. Double bookings, missed checkouts, walk-ins that didn't get entered right. I pulled up the bucket report. 43 rooms occupied, matched the PMS, fine. I started the folio reconciliation. That's posting the nightly room charges, running each folio forward, making sure the rate matches the reservation, checking the tax calculations. Routine. I could do it with my eyes half closed, and most nights I did. Room 614 flagged. The PMS showed it as occupied, in-house. But the bucket report, the housekeeping status, had it listed as vacant clean. Inspected at 3:14 p.m. by Maria, the afternoon supervisor. Nobody checked in after that. No reservation, no walk-in logged. I figured it was a status error. Happens sometimes. A housekeeper marks a room wrong or the PMS doesn't sync right after a late checkout. So I pulled up the folio to check out whoever was ghosting in the system. Guest name, M. Polk. Check-in date, 8/14/1993. Rate, room type, standard king. Status, in-house. Folio balance, $0. I stared at it. Check-in date, 1993. The hotel opened in 2005. The PMS was installed the same year. Marriott's Fosse system migrated to Opera in 2008. There was no 1993 in this system. There was no 1993 in this building. I clicked on the folio detail to expand the charges. The screen took a long time to load. The little wheel spun. I thought the system had frozen. It does that sometimes during audit when you're running batch processes. But then it loaded. 11,387 line items, all identical, every single one, and the most recent entry had posted 3 minutes ago. I scrolled down. The system rendered each line one at a time, over 11,000 of them, and the PMS isn't built to display that kind of history. It's built for a 4-night business stay, not this. Every line was the same. Room service, hot tea 1x, dollars, comp, posted at 3:07 a.m., every single night. Going back to August 14, 1993. Not 3:06, not 3:08, 3:07, for 11,387 consecutive nights. The credit card on file was a Discover card, last 4/44/17, expired September 1997. The system still showed it authorizing a $0 hold nightly, 27 years past expiration. I tried to check the guest out. Standard procedure for a phantom folio. Zero the balance. Let the system archive it. Error message. Folio locked by system administrator. Override requires corporate IT authorization. I tried voiding the last charge. Same error. I tried modifying the guest profile. Same error. The folio was locked at a level above my access, above the GM's access, above anything I'd seen in 19 years on this system. I picked up the phone and called the room. The PMS showed 614's phone as active. Green indicator. Line open. It rang 14 times. I counted. No answer. No voicemail pickup. The system kicks in after 5 rings on every room. Every room except 614. Look, I'm a night auditor. I've seen database corruption, folios duplicate from bad backups, phantom reservations that appear after a PMS update pulls test data from a sandbox. There are explanations. I knew that, but I took the elevator to 6 anyway. The corridor at 3:15 a.m., sconces dimmed to night mode, navy carpet stretching to the fire exit, every door closed. The ice machine alcove between 6:10 and 6:12 was humming. I walked past. 6:12, 6:13. I stopped outside 6:14. No DND sign. Lock indicator red. No entry. The keycard log showed the last card encoded for 6:14 was March 19th. A business traveler named Herrera. Normal 2-night stay. Since then, the room cycled through normal guests. Nothing unusual, but M. Polk's folio had been running underneath the whole time, concurrent with every guest who slept in that room. As if 6 and 14 had 2 occupants, one visible, one in the system only, since 1993. I stood outside the door. The ice machine stopped, and in that silence I heard it. A click. Small, metallic, the sound an electric kettle makes when the thermostat trips the element off. Every Courtyard room has the same Cuisinart kettle next to the coffee packets. I know that sound. Then the smell. Earl Grey, that bergamot scent, coming from under the door, fresh. I didn't open it. I had the master key on my belt. I could have swiped in. I chose not to. I went back to the front desk and pulled up M. Polk's guest profile. Created 8/14/93. No address, no phone, no email. Guest type perm. 19 years on the Marriott PMS. I'd never seen that code. Tran, Corp, GovT Group. No perm. It's not in the drop-down, but there it was. I called the Marriott IT help desk. The overnight tech, a kid, sounded like a call center, traced the folio. He said it migrated into Opera during the 2008 conversion from Fosse. But it was already in Fosse before that, imported on the hotel's opening date in July 2005. 12 years of charges already on it. The migration source is listed as Polk Inn Opera Legacy, he said. Is that a sister property? No. Huh. Well, it's been in your system since day one, from a property called Polk Inn. He paused. That mean anything to you? I put the phone down. My hand left a sweat mark on the receiver. Polk Inn. I'd heard that name years ago, back at the Holiday Inn in Council Bluffs. An old maintenance man, Dale, retired Army, used to talk about hotels that came and went along the I-80 corridor. The Polk Inn was one of them, a motor lodge, family-run, closed down in the 90s. The lobby was dead quiet, the parking garage cameras cycled their feeds, and the PMS still showed room 614. In-house, M. Polk. 11,387 nights and counting. I pulled up the county assessor's website on the front desk computer. The lot at 1414 Capitol Avenue, where the Courtyard stands, was previously the Polk Motor Lodge, built 1961, closed 1994, demolished 1998. The lot sat empty 7 years before the Courtyard broke ground. Owner and sole operator, Margaret Elise Polk. Her obituary was 3 paragraphs in the Omaha World Herald. Died August 14, 1993, age 71, survived by no one. Cause of death, natural causes. Place of death, her residence, room 6 of the Polk Motor Lodge. She lived in her own hotel. Ran it alone after her husband passed in 78. Front desk, housekeeping, maintenance, everything. The obituary called her a fixture of the Capitol Avenue hospitality corridor and noted the Polk Motor Lodge was known for its complimentary tea service. I did the math on a bistro napkin. August 14, 1993 to November 26, 2024. 11,387 days. The folio had 11,387 entries, 1 per night. Starting the night she died. I went back to the PMS. My hands were shaking, not a lot, but enough to mistype my password twice. I pulled up the wake-up call queue. Room 614, standing request, 6 a.m. daily, recurring no end date. Date created 8/14/1993, and it had been answered every morning. The completion log showed it. Completed, guest confirmed. Someone picked up that phone at 6 every morning for 31 years. In a room that was simultaneously vacant and occupied during hundreds of other guest stays. None of them ever mentioned a 6 a.m. call they didn't request. I took the master key, went back to 6, the tea smell was gone, silence, even the ice machine stayed off. I swiped, green light, opened the door, empty. Bed made to spec, hospital corners, decorative runner, pillows regulation 3, no luggage. Standard courtyard room, blackout curtains drawn, AC off. But the electric kettle was warm. I touched it and pulled back, not hot, recently used. In the trash can beside the counter, 1 tea bag, Earl Grey, Bigelow, still wet breath. The room was still, the kind of still that has weight. No HVAC hum, no hallway noise, nothing. The phone on the nightstand, red message light blinking. I picked up the receiver. You have 1. Saved message. Saved message from August 14th, 1993. A woman's voice, elderly, calm. The way you sound when you've said the same thing every night for years. This is Margaret in 6. I'd like my tea at 3 and my wake up at 6, please. I'll be staying. I put the receiver down, walked out, let the door lock behind me, took the elevator to the lobby, sat at the desk. I didn't write any of it in the pass-down log. I finished the audit, ran the credit card batch, printed the revenue report, left it on Phil's desk with the bucket clipped to the front. Clocked out at 6:58, walked to my car on level 1. The hotel looked normal from outside. 8 floors, Marriott flag on the pole, bistro lights coming on, a guest crossing the lobby with a roller bag. The next afternoon I had a text from the day manager, Sarah. Hey, Did you comp a T to 614 last night? Folio's clean now. Just that one charge. Weird. Folio's clean. 11,000 entries. Gone. Just tonight's T. I didn't respond. Put in my 2 weeks the following Monday. Told Phil it was the knees. Told my wife it was the hours. 11 months later, I'm telling you this because you asked, and the coffee's bad and the parking lot is empty and it's 3:07 a.m. I just noticed that. The waitress brings me a refill I don't remember ordering. A white cup, Earl Grey. She says the woman at the counter paid for it, said you look tired. There's no